Hey, what's up guys? I never thought I would see the day that Mirror Hog Riders made its way to rank 24 in the world. But this deck is a no joke. By using the regular Hog Rider to bait out your opponent's building, the mirrored up one will have a straight path to ride right towards the tower, allowing you to mess with your opponent's mental even further with a freeze. And all the defensive counter-pushing cards that cleaned up the Hog Rider will flow right into his Sparky, suddenly stopping any potential for the opponent's offense. There's also outplayability with the Mirror Freeze Cheese to finish off games in the last seconds, or split lane pressure with Sparkies on each side to shock the opponent and stress them out to the max. And when you mirror up arrows, you can take out towers from 339 health, which can come up clutch to spell cycle and secure wins. Let's level up our Hog Riders to a certain unprecedented amount of dominance. And a whole lot of love to everyone supporting the channel with critter code SirTag. Jumping the game against Dark Super, it is time to just shroud our deck in darkness and obfuscate our opponent, because I don't think he's necessarily going to be prepared for a Sparky Mirror Freeze deck. He sees Little Prince versus Little Prince and he's like, oh, all things are fair and balanced. But in reality, we're going to tip the balances in our favor here with a freeze. So he's going to lose his Dark Prince. Then we can go for a Hog Rider to protect our Sparky a little bit more. I think we blast the Sparky and it just dies. Then, oh, come on. Oh, that would have been so nice. I think our Sparky gets another shot, though, so that's fine. All things considered, if the Sparky trades out with the Knight, I'm all good here, because I don't think the dude is going to have a freeze. Also, what if we unleash the Mirror Hog Rider right now? We just saw a Knight, so it's unlikely that this guy's going to have a good answer to this. He's probably relying heavily on like a Hog Rider counter with Sparky. And if he doesn't have that charged up already, he's going to get blasted down. And then if he spams into Barbarians, he's going to net a massive negative elixir trade. So as you guys can see, this guy is just completely confused and looking at this game and wondering, why is this working so well for me? He said, oops, which is, I don't even know. I don't know if that's a mistake for you. Do you expect to play against a Barbarian Sparky deck in Clash Royale? Probably not. You would have expected me to overcommit and then just being able to take my tower because you're able to go in for the overpowered Goblin Giant at the river. But because we're able to net such huge pause elixir trades with Barbarians on defense, it doesn't matter if he's spamming a 6 elixir cost card, a Rage, and then also dropping a Little Prince on top of it. No amount of elixir investment, when you're not having Fireball, is going to break through the Barbarians, even when they're not evolved. So we're going to go for our Sparky in the back, and then I think that we can Mirror Freeze. I really want to try it. I think it could be fun. Or we could just go for 2 Sparkies too. I think that's also good as well. All these things are very acceptable for us. So I want to freeze on his units ideally. I was hoping that we'd be able to hit the Dark Prince, but it's fine. I was hoping that we were able to hit everything at once. Do we splash on? No. No, don't hit my Sparkies. No! My second Sparky's going to die, but not without killing his. Let's go! We baited him. Oh, he's actually going to have Fireball. Wait, this is becoming slightly more scary, but I can go for a Hog Rider and then freeze on his stuff. Little Prince does a lot of damage when it ramps up over time, but if it's not allowed to, what is he going to do? Dude, I could Mirror Freeze up in here if I wanted to. If I really want to be an uncontrollable memer, Mirror Freezing is a fantastic strat. So I'm going to go for Little Prince. He's probably going to click his ability soon. I just want to be able to go in for arrows on top of the minions and shatter his Little Prince. Wait, didn't he already Little Prince ability? I think he did. Oh, you know what? We can use the Barbarians as cannon fodder and then freeze. That is the strategy. That is the pathway to success, baby. He isn't ready. I love the fact that he frantically fireballed the Hog Rider back. And we drag the Dark Super down into the darkness. With the elevated electricity from the Sparky, the Hog Rider goes Super Saiyan and becomes something that even Thor would be scared of. And we're starting off strong at 5,000 in the world. Hey, we got a game against Victor with the death symbol right after his name. So I feel like that's boding pretty scarily for us. I don't love playing against Graveyard, and I specifically don't want people to give us death wishes out here with our Hog Rider spam, because our Hog Rider, it's ready to be a menacing foe, but it doesn't want to get devoured by simple skeletons when we want to be using our small spells like arrows and maybe even freeze to surprise opponents. If we were forced to use that to remove skeletons that are swarming us, it makes me slightly uncomfortable. So we saw Snowball from our opponent, so I don't know what he's going to have. We saw Minions and Snowball and Archers. Oh, it's Giant Graveyard. Oh, wow. I saw a couple cards, and now I can immediately identify it as a Giant Graveyard deck. Let's go for Barbarians early on, so he's not able to go for his Graveyard and support it too heavily with the Giant. The Giant's just going to get melted. We've got stacks of Barbarians out here. We've monopolized the map with an influx of Barbarians that I've never seen before. I actually haven't made a Barbarian Horde or a Barbarian Army, but Clash Royale doesn't even need an evolution for that. It's created in-game with the Mirror. The magic of Mirror allows you to adapt and overcome pretty tricky and sticky situations. I like the fact that You can be more creative with your cards, and this is what Clash Royale should be. This is how the game should be played, where you're able to do crazy card combinations instead of the same card combination that you've seen 20 million times. I hate the fact that he's got skeletons, by the way. That is spooky. As I said before, hard for me to counter. And of course, we had to just take the damage from the bowler because I would have lost my entire tower if I didn't fully focus on finishing off those minions with the arrows. So, against Giant Graveyard, the strategy is to use Evolved Barbarians and use your Little Prince on defense. The Sparky is slightly suboptimal answer to the Graveyard Skeletons. So we'll see what happens, but I think it could be okay if we're building up a big push without the threat of them going for a Giant Graveyard since we have Evolved Barbarians in cycle. So it would be incredibly stupid for this guy to do that, and I sincerely hope he does that. He's not going to. He's not going to fall for our trap card and blast through with a Giant at the River right into the Sparky. He's not going to do that right into the Evolved Barbarians. Instead, he's going to drop a Graveyard on defense, which is really interesting. I guess we take that as well. We can go for a Hog Rider and then possibly get away with a freeze, but I really don't want to. I'd rather go arrows, and then I want to go for Evolved Barbarians or go for Sparky. Generally, going for Sparky into the bowler is ideal, and then because he doesn't have arrows in cycle, we could use our minions, and either of those will work out pretty well for us. Also, we can start up Sparkies on both sides, but yeah, I'm going to do that because we need to be able to kill the bowler, and the Sparky is one of the only effective ways of doing so. Okay, is that going to be a dead archer? I hope so. Nope, it's just going to waste its time on skeletons. Not what we want to see. It's fine, though. Go for our minions relatively early on. We can go for a Little Prince, and then we can go for a Hog Rider onto the archer. So then the archer, oh no. Well, I guess that kind of worked out in my favor. Now the Hog Rider is going to force out extra elixir that he doesn't want to spend. Okay, very weird and wild game so far. I don't love the fact that I'm going to be eating these minions, but it be what it be. We are sacrificing for the greater good of spamming more Sparkies. So he knows that he can't go in, and he's getting damage overall because I have to eat cards that I don't want to. Oh, he's going in finally. Awesome. I'm happy he did that because now we can eventually go for our Evolved Barbarians, clean up the rest of the stuff, know that they're not going to die to arrows, so that's very cool. And then the Sparky should be able to kill the... Yeah, I think it does kill the bowler. I wonder at what cost, though. There'll be a lot of elixir spent for us. We can freeze on skeletons or a bowler. Can we freeze on skeletons and a bowler? Let's go! That is exactly what we wanted. That was a 2-for-1 combo. I was asking for one, but we got double the fun. And now the Sparky blasts him, and he eventually died. Oh man, we fought tooth and nail for that win, and it shows you sometimes being patient with dueling Sparkies will eventually cause a massive mistake from the opponent. It severely stresses their mechanics to defend two Sparkies pushing at the same time. And if they don't have enough brain power to defend against the Sparky, they'll get fully fried and shut down. It's always a good day sending Giant Graveyard back to the graveyard as we pushed up to 4,500 in the world. Hey, this guy finished number 2 in the world. What? Are you kidding me right now? Okay, we have to surprise him. We have to destroy him with our Evo Barbs. There's no way that Lens is going to be able to peer through his lens and find out that our deck is this dirty. Mirror Sparky, Mirror Hog Rider with Freeze is kind of something that no one expects. So he's going to go for a log right now, and he minored, so it's probably a minor poison deck. Let's just go for our minions aggressively so we can get some damage. And I hope that we can get some value here. I'm not going to go for a spontaneous freeze. It's definitely going to be a bit better for us to go in for the Little Prince on the same side as his Archer Queen. There's a high likelihood of this guy clicking another ability, though. I dislike the fact that Archer Queen can get an ability on defense and on offense simultaneously. We're going to go and click our own Little Prince ability here just to be able to melt this Queen. Hopefully, one more shot. Nice. Okay, that is stupendous. Because now we can set up our Mirror Hog Rider push with the Sparky. I think that we'll probably bait out a building with the first Hog Rider, and then the second one that's mirrored up, we can freeze with and lock onto the tower and win the game. We are expecting to cheese a rank 2 player in the world with this dumb strategy. And we're going to go for a Hog Rider right in the middle because guess what? It immediately locks onto the tower that way. We're going to go for the second one here. And I don't think he's properly prepared for this because I don't think anyone should be, really. Like, you look at this and you're like, why are there 2 Hog Riders? How is that getting close to my tower? How am I having to drop a Valkyrie with an Archer Queen? I think that he loses the Archer Queen here if I froze. That might make sense. I should have froze because then it went invisible. But at the same time, I just didn't have the acumen to do that. I was considering it, but I was like, if I go for a freeze and single elixir and I make a misstep, I do automatically lose the game. So the strategy is against really good defensive players that are having one building, you bring out the mid-ladder tactic of dropping 2 win conditions, and then their building can only counter one of them. So that's what we're going to try to do for the rest of the game, and I hope it works out. It'd be really stupid if I was able to win this game, but it's looking in that direction. So I'm going to go in for a Sparky in the back. We're going to go for a Little Prince. We're just going to play pretty passively for right now. And then I'm going to go for my Hog Rider, and then I can mirror it up right after the first one dies. So he's going to be incentivized to not go in for a counter of a unit because it's going to die to the Sparky. But if he goes in for the building, then he loses the mirror. Also, we can just go and cycle this and then freeze and guarantee that the Sparky doesn't die here. And then we can probably... Oh, wow. I didn't expect him to do that. Does the Archer Queen die? Oh, no, 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 no. No, 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 no. Okay, Archer Queen's a pretty strong card. Not going to lie. Not going to fib. We're going to ignore almost everything here and then try to get the Barbarians directly on top of the Queen. Oh, my gosh. She is nasty to me right now. All right, I might have to arrows on that. I bet you he gets another ability. Of course he does. Why wouldn't he? But arrows on it and eventually kill it. But this is looking pretty dreadful. Of course, he's going to continuously miner poison because he is going to be up enough to do that. We are going to try to go for the Mirror Hog Rider to shut him down. Strategy for us is to go for the Sparky in the back, preclude any potential of him going in for any type of miners into that. We could also stack up 2 Sparkies, and I wonder if that's going to be a smart strat. Let's do it. Screw it. We don't have anything to lose right here. We're just going to spam Sparkies. It is a beyond bonkers play. All right, we're going to go for the Hog Rider here, and let's go for Evo Barbs on the left-hand side so we can do dual lane pressure. If we can break down the bomb tower, I believe that we're going to get some good value with Evo Barbs. Not necessarily what we're looking for, but it is what it is. We should be able to go and blast on top of this Archer Queen, hopefully. We'll see if it works out in our favor. I think it does end up hitting the Archer Queen, so that's huge. Then we can go in for our Little Prince. Start to get the 3-card cycle unlocked. Go in for another Sparky. It says champions can't be mirrored. I understand that. I am well aware. I wish it was the case, but it is not like that. Sparky's not going to be able to hit, unfortunately. We are going to go for 2 Hog Riders, and I think this is where we will be able to get a lot of damage. And just break through the bomb tower, then we will win the game, I think. Let's go for here. Can't hit the Queen. Kind of unfortunate stuff. All right, we're just going to freeze on top of the Queen so it doesn't end up killing our precious Sparky. And we can go for minions as well to apply more pressure. And then I think we want to go in for Barbarians on the left-hand side just to force out more elixir. Maybe even a bomb tower so that we can get value with the Hog Rider. I really want to force out bomb towers right now, ideally. And force out bomb towers, then the mirrored up Hog Rider is where we get our value. This is what we needed to see. Now we can freeze. The Barbarians are going to put us in a place where the mirrored up Hog Rider is able to lock on the tower. I'm able to arrows. Do we kill the Valkyrie on his side of the map? No freaking way. Dude, Valkyrie is such a bad card sometimes. Dude, the Hog Rider got another hit. No way. Dude, we just mirror arrows and we win, right? Yeah, we just mirror arrows and win. We spell cycle out here. Yes, sir. Y'all already know. That's exactly how it's going to go. And despite this bro being a rank 2 player in Clash Royale, he was not able to feast on our tower. We are going to make sure that he is in a famine while we are just thriving. GG, well played, and peace out. I cannot believe I just won with Mirror Hog Rider against a rank 2 player in the world. If we learned anything from this magical fairy tale of a match, troll decks always triumph. You just got to increase the craziness to a factor that no one can possibly counter you. Because if we're being honest, I should not be beating someone at this level of skill. And we're riding up the ranks to 1,900 in the world. Hey, we're playing against the Unicorn, who finished 433 in the world with 0 strategy. It might look at the surface that we have 0 strategy, but as you guys saw against a rank 2 player in Clash Royale, this deck, it's dumb enough to confuse the opponent, and that's your strategy. You hit them with confusion so they start hitting themselves. It's the ultimate Pokemon tactic. Also, this is one of the worst matchups that we could possibly get if it's going to be Splashyard. It is the only matchup that I think that we get hard counter by, because he's going to have good answers to our everything. Like the poison, the tombstone, it's going to distract all of our stuff and kill our Sparkies. It's not ideal. It's definitely not ideal. If I go for a Hog Rider here, I want to go for minions so then he's going to be less inclined to Tornado. I really don't want him to Tornado to activate King Tower. I hope that we can get value, and it's not working. So I could freeze, but we're going to go directly into Little Prince, so I don't think that's the play. Oh my goodness. All right, definitely going to go for Barbarians on this. You guys might laugh at me and say I'm stupid, but even if this is stupid and silly, it is the right play. He's unlikely going to click the ability. Like most people at this skill level are not going to click the ability every single time they cross the river, especially when they're down elixir, when they're playing against a deck that's crazy. They want to retain their elixir advantage so they don't get screwed by some crazy spam at the river. So that's why this guy decided to play a little bit more defensively. I'm going to orient myself on defense with 8 arrows there because the Baby Dragon would have gotten like 5 belches on my tower. I didn't really want to deal with that. I definitely have to split up 2 Sparkies and drop them in opposite lanes and then try to create a chaotic game where our opponent will make a misplay. It's not going to be easy, but it is possible. He just went in for a graveyard by itself, so I'm going to use minions, and I think I'm able to defend rather nicely. It's not going to be phenomenal, but it is what it is. The smart play from him was to just graveyard and not support it, because if you go in for a graveyard and you spend extra elixir, they're going to be down so much to the point that I'm able to take advantage of the situation. This guy is an exceedingly passive player, which I am not a fan of. We don't want to be playing against people that are this good and smart and safe at the same time, because it's going to be hard for us to find a way through when he's running one of the most defensive decks in the game and he's not giving me any openings. I'm going to go for a Little Prince here, and then I think we can go for Barbarians if we want. there's a high likelihood that it's going to be better for me to just go in for the baby dragon, counter with the little prince every time, and try to drop it higher up so he's not able to poison on the tower too. So we're trying to make that happen. We're maybe go for double hog riders with the mirror. I mean, there's a chance that this is smart. I don't know. Yeah, let's do it. Let's just do 2 hog riders here and then go for minions. I believe that this will do something. Maybe. Hopefully. We can freeze on the skeletons too. The hog rider's mirrored up and it's on the tower. Yo, we're kind of getting damage. We're killing the baby dragon. We're in a profound place. I did not expect to be winning this game, but we're winning right now. It's not for long, but it is for right now. Okay, so as long as we can get like a hog rider in front, I guess that would be okay. Never mind. We're gonna have to go in for barbarians mirrored up. Not necessarily my favorite play, but it will work out. And then we can go for minions on top of the baby dragon. So then he's gonna be more inclined to drop like a tornado. I don't think he will because he probably wants to save it against the hog rider. But he is inclined to do that when he sees that. I could freeze. I don't think that's worth it. I think we just take the -1 trade and say, hey, it happens sometimes.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
We can go for a Sparky in the back on the side that he doesn't want to go poison. And if he goes in for a graveyard, we can go for Evo Barbs on the skeletons. If you don't have Evo Barbs and they go for a graveyard, you're in a really bad spot, by the way. So I don't want to arrows this. I think I'm fine as is. It's still a lot of elixir spent, but it is as good as it's going to get for us. He used his poison, so I think we can go in for minions, mirror hog rider. We need to continuously apply pressure in the opposite side if we have any chance of winning this game. As you guys can probably see, we don't have much of a chance, but this is what we got. So we're going to go for our freeze right now. We've got the hog rider on the tower. I did not hit the little prince. If I hit the little prince, I might have just won. Dang it, man. I wish I played that better. Oh my gosh. If I hit the little prince, I would have 100% won the game there. Jeez. Okay, I guess we're going to go in for a Sparky. And Graveyard's going to be harder for us to counter right now for sure. But as long as he continues to overcommit like this, then I think we're in a decent spot. We can go for Barbarians on top of the little prince. We can go for a hog rider and mirror it up again. I do want to go in for a baby dragon counter with minions or little prince every time. The little prince, oh man. Yeah, I guess I'm not going to do anything else. I think I'm just going to let the little prince roll and then let the baby dragon lock onto our tower, then go for minions afterward. Actually, screw it. We're going to go for double minions. I need to drop minions in both spots so we can melt that. And then I got to go arrows on defense here. This is really looking rough. But with the little prince, he might be able to kill... Oh my gosh, little prince, why are you running away? Why are you running away from responsibility like that, man? What's wrong with you? Okay. So we need to correct our card cycle. It's not necessarily looking great, but we do have our evil barbarians. There is a chance that we can still do this. Stop the knight from crossing the river, so then we've got minions and everything else locking directly onto the graveyard skeleton, so there is that. We can go for a hog rider here. We can go in for another hog rider. And with the skeletons not taking my tower, we might still be able to win the match. We have to go in. We have to go balls to the walls on offense. We need hog rider hits. No, we pulled them both to the king tower. Oh my gosh. I can't believe that. You can pull 2 hog riders with 1 tornado. That's awful. Just looking back at the game, this is the worst matchup we could have possibly gotten in Clash Royale. We lost to rank 400 player in the world, and if I used my freeze on the Little Prince, I would have 100% snagged the win there. But you can't win every match, so let's ride on to the next game and hammer down some towers there. All right, Banana Man, it's time to give you the banana splits with our Sparky Mirror. And we have a plan to fry you just like a banana pancake in our pan. I will just really enjoy just going in for spam and simultaneously stressing our opponents as much as we can. And I think he's kind of taking that initiative to do that to us, unfortunately. So it is what it is. Kind of an awkward start where he's able to easily arrows. And I got to get redemption. We lost against Graveyard earlier. I can't lose against it again. This is really one of my most hated decks in Clash Royale when we are running a deck that gets countered by it. Because Graveyard, they always have good answers to you. They're going to have so many distractions for the Sparky. They're going to have so many annoying cards that we're going to have to defend with Barbarians or Minions. And those bait cards, they're not going to be very nice to us. They're going to be hostile when our opponent decides to drop poisons, arrows, snowballs to eviscerate our minions and then also our barbarians. I dislike having the arrows here, but I think there's really no way around it. I want to force out extra elixir, and if we can force out a bowler, that's decent for us. I mean, that's 5 elixir down the drain from our dude. So now we're currently sitting pretty, up 1,100 damage. And, you know, dubs Royale, we're stealing your dubs, man. We're taking only W's out here. If these minions are allowed to go and finish off the bowler, then we can go for minions on defense and then hopefully shut down the rest of these skeletons. The difficulty here arises from the fact that the bowler isn't easy for us to kill. You have to go Sparky in the back on the same side. And, I mean, Graveyard in particular, you need to use the Evolved Barbarians for maximum efficiency because all the other cards in your deck just die. They will all just die. Sparky doesn't do so hot. Obviously, we want to go in for a freeze here so we can maximize our offensive potential, but at the same time, there's still 2 evolved bats barreling at us afterward. I mean, those bats will die to the tower eventually, right? But, like, at what cost? How much elixir do I have to spend to get that to happen? I have to go Sparky, because if I go Evil Barbs, they're going to get killed by the bowler. So, I'm trying to figure out a way to win this. He might just bowler at the river randomly. I think that there's a possibility that he does that. Yeah, he's going to go bats. Let's arrows on those. And then, I think we're in an okay spot with the Little Prince, and the Sparky's shielding us. The Sparky is definitely shielding us for a while. If we can hit the giant, we might not die. Pretty close to dying, though. We're at 100 HP. Guys, we have a dream here. We have to win this game. Mirror freeze and the meme. It needs to work now or never. If the Sparky can just hit the freaking bowler, there's a chance that we can win. We need to freeze right now with 2 Evo Barbarians, a Little Prince. The Sparky's gonna hit the tower. Let's go! No way! He doesn't have enough elixir to get back to his arrows. Snowball doesn't do enough. We are barely gonna win at 40 HP against Giant Graveyard. The redemption is real, and that game was a steal. And I'm so glad we're able to destroy one of the most difficult matchups in the game for this deck, Graveyard. Because if you can beat the hard matchups, pushing up will be light work. As you remember, against some of the best players in the world, they can't even defend if they're running control decks into your Mirror Hog Rider freeze. It's physically not possible because you got 2 Hog Riders and a freeze, and they only have 1 building. If only we had 2 hammers, but hammer away at the like button if you enjoyed the video, subscribe for more daily content, and have an amazing rest of your day.